No.
Hey guys, Crew Blind Wave, I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
And we're going to do a review for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But first, Aaron, we are going to need our notes because we forgot them.
Oh.
I think they're back
There's
to
a,
There's a spell for it, though. Accio Notes!
Accio Notes! Oh, I did it!
Oh, these are mine. Where are yours? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. We're not going to do a spoiler review, non-spoiler review this time. We're just going to go straight into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, do not watch this review.
Go watch the movie!
It's really loud, by the way.
The wand chooses the wizard. Because you're loud, get it?
Accio audience! Hey, the back.
There's more spells than Accio.
Expelliarmus.
Yeah, what else?
Abracadabra.
That's not one,
That's
and don't
not one.
do it. You're not allowed to do that. You get in trouble if you do that.
I can't do abracadabra?
Well, you can. Nothing will happen.
Okay.
But if you do the correct one, that's an unforgivable curse.
Yeah.
Lifetime and
Scipio!
I'm not doing this because he did that. I'm just really thirsty.
That's not a sip. That's Gulpio.
Stopio.
Okay, so the movie, guys. Generally, what'd you think?
I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've never read the books or anything, and I've seen the movies. I've seen all the movies at least once.
Yeah.
A few of them I remember seeing parts and stuff before, but overall I enjoyed it. Sometimes like you're watching stuff and you're like, well, why didn't they just do this with their magic stuff? And, like there's a couple times I was trying to like find some things like that, but overall like, there wasn't really a whole lot of holes where I was like, couldn't they just do this? Especially since the one guy used mostly animals instead of spells and stuff, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a neat twist to like what like Harry Potter did and stuff.
True.
Spoilery or non-spoilery?
Spoilery.
He doesn't know you
Spoiler.
cut off his notes.
You cut off my train of thought.
Spoilerinos.
Don't.
Spoileramus.
You're not even holding your wand.
Damn, I'm not a good wizard, okay?
Overall, yeah, it was a really interesting experience. Like it really felt like it was America instead of
It definitely did.
instead of like England,
Yeah.
something like that. It was kind of depressing a little bit because like we're being hunted and hated and stuff like that. I mean, not to like diminish what actually happened, but it kind of felt like Nazi Germany, like they were hunting the Jews and stuff, and they were like having to be hid by the resistance and stuff like that.
It was certainly a tone I did not expect.
Well, it was directed by the same director who did the last two movies, right?
David Yates. He did Order of the Phoenix, right? Didn't David Yates do that? He did Half-Blood Prince, and then he did the last two, Deathly Hallows. So he did the last four. But yeah, no, I felt like the look of the movie was pretty consistent with the old stuff, except, and this is going to sound stupid, but it's my biggest pet peeve. Were all of the wand spells the same color? Were they all white?
When they're like white and blue?
Not all of them.
I don't remember, because, Stupefy, red has always been red. And
Maybe they're just, all the ones we saw were the same spells they were using. Like, maybe they didn't use Abracadabra and Stupid
I guess so.
Stupidamus.
Maybe in the 50s, they're just like, we don't have colors yet, eh?
Wasn't this in the 20s?
What is it? Yeah, 20s.
It was in
It's
the
like
late 20s,
1926, right?
In the 20s.
It was like after,
Maybe they didn't have
it was like
colors,
after
though.
World War I, before World War II.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that's before
Jacob
him.
said he got back in like 2024,
Yeah.
23, 24, so
So this is all before Harry Potter, then.
yes, well before.
Isn't there an actual book in Harry Potter called?
He wrote a book that they use in Hogwarts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
But that book they're talking about at the end,
Yeah. He was like, oh, I have read it. I'll bring it back to you in real
it wasn't that book. It was a different book.
Okay.
No, it was that book. I don't really know where to start here.
It'd be terrible if you were like,
I honestly didn't really love it.
Really?
I didn't fall in love with it. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but
I felt like there's
know.
a lot of setups for stuff that didn't pay off.
Is there supposed to be any more of these?
Apparently, this is going to be a whole fucking thing, but generally, you still want to have some. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of things were set up, and then I don't know what's happening. You know, like the kid, and what's that thing called that he is?
The Obscuria
Obscuria or whatever.
Obscuriamus?
I don't think he died. They were shooting him with spells, white spells, by the way, just white.
Yeah.
And then he and he kind of faded away, but
well, he went to a bunch of feathery shadow things, right?
Yeah,
Well,
then
you
it
know,
went away.
didn't one
yeah,
like a red one.
yeah,
At the very end, it crawled out and then
it
flew
looked like
off.
it went.
yeah. So I was thinking wait, so this thing is gonna be like a thread that we had to follow more, or I don't know. Anyway, there was just a lot of stuff about it that I was like confused / really liked / some other stuff. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, the big thing obviously is this obscuriae. How do you say it?
I think it's obscuriae or
obscurial.
Yeah, like that's the big thing in this movie. I felt like because he had one in his.
Well, that's never been a thing before, right? I don't remember that from a movie that I remember.
No, but spoilers: Grindelwald is in this movie, right?
Yeah.
Which I. Spoilers again. I immediately thought of whenever they showed the back of his head, and then like a minute later they showed the back of the head of Colin Farrell. Granted, it was a different actor, but it's like the same haircut, and I'm like, well, that shot looks exactly like the Grindelwald shot we just saw.
Yeah,
he's probably Grindelwald. And the whole movie, like I felt like I was told the Sixth Sense secret before
you watched it.
I was like, I couldn't really like enjoy Colin Farrell's performance because I knew that he wasn't real.
I guess I suspected it, but I guess I wasn't like where I'm like.
Yeah,
it's gotta be right.
It was like the first fucking thing I thought of.
It was like as soon as anyone spoke to him, is like, you were the only survivor of Grindelwald's attack last time. It's like, yeah, that's him. I was convinced.
It's like the shot of like when Grindelwald killed those like first like 4. Like the very first shot is like these like 5 or so wizards coming up and he just kills them all. You know, like the shot after that happens is from the back of his head. You know, and it's got that kind of long hair on top and shaved on the sides. And then whenever he was walking up to the building with the creature attack, it was the same exact shot. And I just think, I'm like, man, they really gave that away early. But you don't think it was that obvious?
I guess I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
But through it, I was like, I feel like he's not the good guy.
No,
that
I mean, obviously.
Or he's like, I wasn't 100% sure that he was Grindelwald or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought he was like on that, like they said about his army and that kind of stuff and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I wasn't 100% sure if it was him or not. But I picked up on the one kid being the obscurial.
Yeah.
I felt faster than the Grindelwald thing.
Now I was gonna say about that thing. Now we haven't seen anything like that in the regular stuff. Now this is done by J.K. Rowling. You know, she did the screenplay and wrote and I think she produced too. So I mean, all this I would assume would be book canon. But Dumbledore and Grindelwald, who were childhood friends.
Okay.
Right? Like, Grindelwald would go and visit one of his relatives who lived right beside Dumbledore's family.
Was his name mentioned in the old like stuff? Okay.
Grindelwald was like the first Dark Lord.
Okay.
Before Voldemort. Yeah, Dumbledore would be around. We even got a Dumbledore mention in this. That, you know, Newt was like one of his favorite students or whatever. But the crux of the 7th book is that you find out Dumbledore's dark past. That him and Grindelwald, they were obsessed with power. They were best friends. It's implied that Dumbledore was actually in love with them. And Grindelwald wasn't like that, you know? And they ended up getting in this fight with Albus Dumbledore's brother. And all 3 of them are fighting. And they accidentally kill Dumbledore's sister in the fight. Now, Dumbledore's sister, her story is that when she was a little girl, Muggles, like, saw her practicing magic, and, like, it's never really stated exactly what happened, but that she was never the same after it happened.
Okay.
So, you can imply that it's abuse or bullying or, at the worst, like, rape or something like that. But she was broken, so her mom hid her in the basement her entire life.
Okay.
So she was repressed. So, and they were saying, like, childhood repression causes these things. Yeah. So is that to imply that maybe the sister had one of these things, and that's why Grindelwald is upset, or not obsessed, but he was interested in it? Why did he like this fake guy, and he's hiding out here, and he's interested in this thing? You know?
Why is he chasing one?
Yeah. So there has to be something there. Now, granted, I'm not like the biggest Harry Potter fact checker. Like, I know the stories pretty well, but I can't tell you all the names and dates and all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure there's a connection in there with this new Obscura thing.
How do you have any idea how old that girl was?
She was 14 when she died, and that seems pretty old for what they were talking about.
Yeah.
But this kid was pretty old too.
So Dumbledore's things should have already happened then, right? That whole fight and everything. So the 8-year-old Newt was talking about before wouldn't be the same.
This would have happened.
And they say usually it happens up to 10 years old.
Yeah, that's what they said. But this kid, how old was this guy? I can't remember his name.
He was probably like 17.
Yeah. I mean, he survived that
16,
long.
17, and he's still going with it.
Great. That's why they said it was so powerful. But I gotta say, as much as I can say, like, I didn't love the movie, the destructive force of that thing was pretty palpable.
Tearing down through the brick and everything.
Yeah, I felt his presence. Had a really cool look to it. But yeah, the thing that I'm most interested in is like, how does that relate to the Dumbledore Grindelwald saga? And I assume that if we're going to be having like 3 or 5 movies or something like that, we're naturally going to go and see the final battle of that. Now, talking about all of that aside, there's also Grindelwald and Dumbledore when they were kids and they were friends. They were obsessed with the Deathly Hallows. You know that symbol that we have over there?
Yeah, I drew that.
Yeah, that kid had a symbol of it. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that was what
like
Grindelwald pushed the little necklace for. He was like, push this, and it summoned me or something like that.
It's all connected there, too. We know that Dumbledore eventually gets the Elder Wand, and he uses it to kill Grindelwald. You know, so it's weird that, like, it feels like they're building up to a story we already know the outcome to, but I guess you can say that with the prequels, but, you know.
I mean, you say that with, like, Rogue One, too.
Yeah, true. That's true. Except we don't know the rebel spies. We know
well, we don't know Newt's story and stuff, right?
Not necessarily. No.
Like some of it, like it seemed mostly was focused on Newt.
Yeah.
And then the Grindelwald thing was kind of happening with that and whatnot. It was like, so maybe like if they have another one, it's continuing his story, and maybe we don't see Grindelwald again, but maybe something, whatever.
It's fine.
Grindelwald.
Wald. Yeah.
Wald. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we don't see Grindelwald again.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a, I don't know, maybe we don't see him for like a couple movies.
Maybe it's that thing again.
Back in, or
like,
maybe,
if that thing's not dead, then does it grow old with him?
I mean, it seems like something that he studies, right?
I don't know.
He was treating it like a creature like the other one he had.
Yeah.
But he had it safe in a bubble or something that...
Yeah.
He had a lot of stuff in his bubble.
It's weird that it's a creature, but it also is a child. You know? Like, it's like a... They said like it's a dark force surrounding repressed magical children.
How does that... I'm wondering how it works, because it seemed like when he turned into that, right? But then Newt was talking about how the one he had captured, the child had been killed, but he still had.
Like it's a force of magical energy that is only created around a repressed magical child. So it's not, but it like possesses you, I guess.
Maybe. So Harry Potter.
It really reminds me of Dementors, because Dementors are from Azkaban. They're very like negative energy, soul sucking, and they take all your happiness. Like, it's kind of related, and they kind of look the same. Maybe there's some kind of like origin story to these things in Dementors.
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, like in terms of like big story stuff, that's kind of like some of the stuff I haven't really noticed.
Yeah.
And I was confused by it, but
you just ate that bug.
Speaking of Newt, though, I feel like I should have liked the actor more than I did. I don't know if I really liked him. He's very... I know that he's supposed to be, like, awkward, but, like, it made the whole movie awkward for me.
Yeah,
like, he's speaking very, very fast, but only in short bursts. The entire time I was like, this guy fucking just needs to talk.
He needs to talk.
This guy's gotta talk more.
I felt like they wanted Matt Smith, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I was getting some Doctor vibes and stuff from him
a
little bit. Especially like at the end, he had like was that like a Hogwarts scarf?
Yeah.
It looked like
like he had a scarf and I was like...
A Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Doctor. I was like, Doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor Who right there.
Yeah. There was something about, protagonist usually needs to be the vehicle for the audience to latch onto. I felt like I didn't really relate with
You couldn't relate to that guy.
I related with the Muggle, the No-Maj. The No-Maj more.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Cool. I really like Jacob.
Yeah. Star of the movie is the Niffler.
Huh?
The little badger that takes money.
The platypus thing?
Niffler, yeah.
That's what it's called, is a Niffler?
Yeah, Nifflers.
I liked it.
We Nifflers were from the 5th book, I think, where Hagrid, who becomes the care of magical creatures teacher, professor, and he has Nifflers, and they have a contest. Like, Hagrid has buried coins out in his front yard, and you each get a Niffler, and whoever gets the most coins wins, and Harry's have winning, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's cool that they brought like the Niffler back in, and it was pun intended, literal gold.
Yeah, I loved it.
So funny.
Every scene it was in was funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. His whole case, his Mary Poppins case, was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
like
cool.
everything inside that case, I think is what that was the fun part of the movie. There,
yeah,
it
was.
Everything in there, seeing all the new creatures and stuff.
Yeah,
that lion thing.
Puffer lion.
Yeah,
that
the
was
lion
so cool.
that had like a throat that like was a frog.
Yeah.
Did you honestly?
It was like a pufferfish.
I was the entire time we were seeing those new creatures and stuff. I had in my hand my idea like, oh my catch it. Like a Pokemon, you know? They look like Pokemon to me.
Yeah.
No, I like those parts.
That was neat. There was a lot of cool stuff in there.
Yeah.
I'm curious on what all the bubbles were. He had a lot of things in bubbles.
Like the fish and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he had the obscurial in a bubble.
Yeah.
But then he had other things up there in a bubble. And then I think he had like those frozen fish eggs or
I
frozen
think
eggs
that
in
it's a
bubbles.
protection charm because I remember Voldemort in the 7th book, he created a bubble for Nagini.
Yeah.
When he realized that all of his Horcruxes were being attacked, he put her in a bubble. So maybe it's like a protection charm.
Maybe. Okay.
Or something that like they had to have some kind of special atmosphere
Stasis
or something. Yeah.
or, yeah. Like there was definitely some fish that were in like a bubble and they were like
Yeah.
they were swimming but the bubble was moving with them.
What did you guys? Was there any other animals you guys liked? I liked the hippo rhino thing.
The hippo rhino thing was
That was
really
a
cool.
fun scene.
Yeah. Was the like blue mosquito bird thing? You remember that?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the fly mosquito.
Did they have a
hummingbird.
name for it?
Did he call it something?
There,
No.
because in that book, there's like a bird, hummingbird like thing. That's the original snitch. They like the little gold ball they play with Quidditch.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the original thing. They would release that and they try to catch it, and then they felt like it was too cruel because they would end up killing it every game.
Oh,
And then they created the ball.
gotcha.
I wonder if that was that.
Maybe.
I was trying to pay attention to see if I could hear the name of what they called it, but I
Yeah,
couldn't
I never
remember.
heard him calling.
I mean it sounded like it.
Yeah.
Didn't they also acknowledge that by asking people if they're a something or a something? Like, don't they have what's the name of the players? There's like the
Keeper. Yeah, he was like no, he
The
was
Seeker.
like yeah, like are you a seeker? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like actually I'm more of a keeper or chaser or something like that. he
yeah
said. Yeah, that was
chasers like
Quidditch.
I was like, that sounds like a little Quidditch.
Yeah, there's also another book like it usually comes paired with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them called Quidditch Through the Ages, and it kind of has Quidditch history. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna do that for the next one.
What about that bird yo-yo?
That was cool.
I just wrote down bird yo-yo.
Yeah, I like that.
Call it.
Yeah.
But he would just like throw it out. Like I like the first time he like teased it at the
No,
one
it
dude.
was the swooping death or something.
Swooping eagle, right?
Not eagle.
You sure?
Swooping evil, I think is what he said.
Oh, there it was.
Yeah.
That and the rhino were my two favorite things.
Yeah.
The big bird eagle, bald eagle looking thing was kind of
Yeah.
neat too. But
We also had goblins and house elves
there were a
again.
lot of
Yeah.
house elves.
Now the singing lady, was that a goblin or a
That
house
was a
elf?
goblin.
Okay.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Because when I first saw it, I thought it was a house elf, and I was like, wait, she's wearing clothes. She's free! You know? But I think it was
She
a goblin.
chose to come here.
Now, the goblin mob boss guy, he had a wand.
Yeah.
That's a no-no in Harry Potter. There's Goblin Wizard Wars where they've taken the ability for them to use wands.
Why were all his fingers bent backwards?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe like old age or maybe it was like torture.
I just thought it was weird that, like, him having a wand, I was like, wait, that's supposed to be, like, illegal, but he's a mobster. So I guess he's allowed to have one.
What they call it, the Magkusa or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Like the magical Yakuza people
Yeah.
Yeah.
chasing after them?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this?
Anyway, I thought that stuff was cool. And I will say, like, even though I didn't, like, absolutely love the film, I did love the world. The world built, like...
Yes.
It was
a very
America,
immersive.
and it felt like it fit right in.
They also made the mention of Hogwarts versus Ilvermorny. Is that
Yeah.
what it's called?
Livermoney?
Yeah.
Livermorny? Is that what it is?
Which we have some...
Livermorny, rather.
We have that information from the Pottermore site, like that J.K. Rowling site where every
Yeah.
once in a while she'll write some stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm a Hufflepuff and a Thunderbird.
A Thunderbird.
That was the American house or something that I was in.
Oh, okay. I haven't sorted myself.
No, that's what it put me in.
Okay.
That gone Aaron.
What are you?
Hufflepuff.
And
I didn't sort myself into Livermorny.
go do it, oh!
Because Hogwarts is better.
I just wanted to see if I'm in America now. I just wanted to see what I would have been placed in.
All
And
right.
Thunderbirds are sweet. I could go find Sandra D.
Do you think the mice that were actually male,
Paper, yeah.
do you think that has something to do with, in Britain, the owls deliver your mail? It's like, owls deliver, like, the mail, like, outside and fly around, but inside, it's mice, you know? I wonder if it was any kind of,
Oh,
like...
and an owl grabs a mouse.
I wonder if there's any
takes it
kind of,
up.
like, wordplay or symbolism there, but I thought that was kind of funny.
Or was it mice because they were in New York?
I guess
Mice
it could
all
be
over New York.
rats, yeah.
Shouldn't have been like raccoons.
They say that when you're in New York City, you're never 5 feet away from a mouse or a rat. Ever.
You're never.
Yeah, that's what they say. They being, I don't know who, so don't ask.
So there's always like a rat within 5 feet of you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
That's
should
interesting.
just shoot.
You'd be eating
everywhere.
good. Why was John Voight in this movie? It's
Star power.
It's gotta be like coming up or something, like a next movie. Or
I mean,
something.
Maybe he just wanted to be in it.
definitely felt like he was trying to wage a war.
I don't know.
Like he was like, everyone look at it, take pictures.
Yeah.
You know, he definitely wanted to collect evidence and stuff.
I thought like if this movie's gonna be like 5 movies long or the series or whatever, like maybe they will like have everybody figure it out, like in America or some shit.
I mean, people know by Harry Potter, right? That they do exist.
Not really.
Right?
No,
still not.
No. I mean, that's what the Ministry of Magic pretty much does, is keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Prime Minister knows.
Okay.
Because the wizard minister of magic, and then he would always go and have like a conversation with the Prime Minister. He has like he's the only one that has a connection to that fireplace in the Prime Minister's office.
Yeah.
He can come out and talk.
Gotcha.
Did you see that poster in the background of one of the shots where it said, "We need a second Salem"?
I saw Salem.
Yeah.
Salem.
It was about the witch and wizard intolerance stuff,
Oh,
and it said,
yeah.
"We need a second Salem."
Town of
To
Salem.
go and hang them all?
Yeah, which makes it sound like a second Holocaust or something to me, you know? And then, yeah, there's a whole lot of that in here, like no mixing of magi.
It's illegal.
Magi's from the Mummy.
Yeah.
It's illegal to marry a no-mage.
Yeah, you can't marry or fraternize or anything. I mean, we've kind of had that theme in the original Harry Potter books and movies with, pure blood and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was like pure blood and stuff like that. But
Well, this was like straight up nothing.
I mean, who was it? Seamus? Like
Finnegan?
Yeah, dad's a muggle, mum's a witch. Bit of a nasty shock for him when he found out. Kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that.
So you could marry, but
In
you
England.
couldn't tell anyone else.
You can in England. You can't do it there. Remember? Because
Yeah.
Newt was like, I don't understand your like backwards ways or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, yeah. Well, they also had he's like, did you, what is it? Obliviate that no-mage? It's like, huh?
Yeah.
It's like
We'll call them muggles.
the Muggles.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that. That was fun. Did you know Johnny Depp was in this?
Yeah.
I had heard that Johnny Depp was in it.
Well-
People were saying, oh, Johnny Depp's going to play young Dumbledore.
Well,
Dumbledore.
I had heard that he was like I thought it was recent that he was in this thing. I wonder if they picked that up fairly recently, because he wasn't in a whole lot of the shots. You know,
No, he's just like the very end there.
he's like turn. I wonder if like Colin Farrell like did his stuff and then they like, oh, we got Johnny Depp to be Grindelwald, and they like went and shot him and made it up. You know,
Oh, shit. That would be...
he's like David Prowse and Vader, like no.
That way Colin Farrell doesn't get in the later films.
I don't know. I don't know the details of when Johnny Depp was involved, but I thought I only just heard that he was going to be cast in this thing. But see, that's why I don't know, like with the whole Grindelwald thing, like I just immediately picked it up and I felt like it kind of like sullied the movie a little bit for me, just because I wasn't like engaged.
I was expecting it the whole time. It's like he was so much better than all of the other R's and everything.
Now, something I wasn't expecting and I'm confused by. The main female's sister, she's a legitimist or something like that. She can read minds, right?
Yeah.
Did it seem like it was like a natural thing for her?
Yeah,
I
it's
thought-
like
I
a
thought
it's like an inborn
it didn't
thing.
seem like she
I'm
was like,
saying I thought in the books like that was like a hardcore hard thing to master. Like Voldemort was awesome at it, and then there's another thing called occlumency, which is the defense, right? And the person that's best at that is Severus Snape. That's why he could spy on Voldemort, and Voldemort never knew what was going on. You know, and there's even whole scenes in the movie and the book where Snape's trying to teach Harry because Harry's having these visions of Voldemort. He's going into Voldemort's mind in and out.
Yeah.
But I thought all of that stuff was like hard to do. But this girl who didn't really seem very like
do it.
like
she was
special at all.
It seemed to me like she was a savant. Like she had been born with it. She could always do it, and she had to learn like different kind of magic.
I just thought it was like an advanced technique that you had to like study, and not something that happens naturally. Like Tonks, remember Tonks?
Yeah.
She can like change her appearance at will, and that's like a natural thing. But I didn't know there was like a mind reading version of that. It seemed like I don't know. There's just something about that I was like, well, that's interesting, and I don't know if I love it. It felt like it was kind of taken away from what Voldemort and Snape and Dumbledore like
What they
strived
had,
for. You know about me. I never like I never like people who don't have to earn their power, unless she just is awesome at it.
What about Anakin in Star Wars? Like he was just naturally
He still had
stronger.
to train hardcore to do all this stuff. You know, Jedi reflexes are great and all, but they'll get you killed. I mean, he was still a slave when they found him. You know.
Yeah.
They're like he never. Maybe when he got older, he would have helped and stuff. But even still, Jedi while they've won a genetic lottery, they still have to train hardcore.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
that's the reason why Yoda's the best. He's been around for how many years? You know?
Yeah. We also don't know her background, though.
That's the thing. I don't know her background. She was kind of like...
She could be
She kind of came
strong,
across
like,
as maybe ditzy or something, but then I thought, okay, maybe she's actually more intelligent as the movie went on. And then I thought, well, is she repressed or something? But no, now she's going out in the world. I'm like, look, a chick that pretty's not going to be single for a long time. But then I think, well, because she can't date no mages, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot in that character that I was very confused
And
by.
she can also read minds, and maybe she sees bad things in people, and she's like...
I suppose so.
You know, she's just like, and like they show interest, and you're like...
Yeah.
Like, she knows what they're thinking and everything. She's like... Because she was like, don't worry, everyone always thinks that first.
Yeah. Now, I know a lot of my complaints are like comparing this to the other Harry Potter material.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't not do that. So, sorry. Sorry, everybody. I like Baby Groot.
Baby Groot. The little stick-to-it guy was cool,
Yeah.
Like, he had it at one point, and then I was like, did he still have that thing? And then it showed up, like, behind him, and then he was trying to get rid of it, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about it again, and then it showed up to unlock his stuff.
Yeah.
And then the little goblin was like, ooh, I like them. They can unlock locks. And I'm like,
They pick locks.
that's a thing they do? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did Johnny Depp say? What did Grindelwald say when he left?
Something in a Christopher Walken accent.
He said...
I
I have no idea what he said.
That was Christopher Walken.
I wrote
By
down
Johnny Depp.
When we die just a little. I'm like, that can't be right. That doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't look back and say that. What the fuck did he say?
What was it he said?
See,
just a little.
when I heard him say that, I thought, oh, he's talking about Horcruxes.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you create a Horcrux, you have to do something terrible, and
You had to murder. Yeah.
you have to rend your soul, so you die a little
Wait,
bit.
is
and
that,
you
is
put
that what he said?
I don't
That's
know.
what he said. Like
Okay.
when we die a little.
Okay.
So
Like, Horcrux is like... A Horcrux isn't splitting your soul. Murder, no matter who does it. Like, if I was in this world and I went and murdered somebody, I would split my soul. A Horcrux is just a way of extracting that part of the soul and hiding it.
yeah,
Like, anytime you murder, you split your soul. That's what... Because murder's supposed to be, like, the worst thing you can do in this world, you know?
Yeah.
Like, morally. Which, I guess, is true. But, you know, like... So if I murdered Aaron, my soul would split.
But it would just stay there.
Yeah, but the ritual of the Horcrux is that you have to kill somebody while doing a certain incantation, and then part of your soul will go into an object, and you can hide that object, and your soul will always survive inside of it.
yeah.
And you can't die.
Yeah. Well, you can die.
It's like the one.
Your
ring.
body can be destroyed, but your spirit like lives on.
Yeah.
Because he had to get a whole new body. Anyway, I don't know if Grindelwald ever did mess around with Horcruxes or not, but
I mean, he
certainly did wandless magic a lot.
yeah.
I thought he did too. Because, like, there was one time he summoned, like, the case to him or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? And then, like, he got up and, like, the wand was in his hand. I'm like,
Well,
I guess he had his wand.
he always like gestured and stuff with his right hand, but he would have his wand like in a little holster thing,
Yeah.
and he would pull it out with his did I get that right? He gestured with his right hand, and then he would pull it out with his left hand, and that's what he used to.
So do you just have to have it, or do you have to actually, like, be waving it?
Well, the thing, like
Don't you have to say shit?
the rules is that there are magical things and there are not magical things. There are magical humans and there are not magical humans, right?
Yeah.
So when you're a wizard, you have magical ability. Like Harry, he made his ant blow up, right, and like get like real big, but he didn't have a wand with him. You know, but you can't control it. A wand is like a funnel, you know, for your magic to go through, and then you can direct it through the wand. That's why you gotta say shit. But you also don't have to say shit. You can just think it. It's just harder, you know.
Well, there was times.
But
like,
to use no wand and use just your hands and stuff, like Dumbledore's done it before.
Yeah.
But it's not anything crazy. But I felt like they're showing him do it a lot more, which to me was like, who's Grindelwald?
Yeah,
You know?
only very super powerful wizards
can do
were
it.
able to do it with no.
But you
wand.
are right. There are times that he would like use it, but he had the wand in his other hand too. So what if he is like funneling, using his whole body? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when he summoned that case, the first thing I said is like, doesn't he need a wand?
Yeah.
And then like when he stood up, he had it like in his left hand, and then Calvin's like, that's probably why.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
So maybe he's like channeling different ways.
It always
know.
felt like him using his wand was an afterthought. Like when he was in that the lightning battle thing with the one girl.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
But
Tina?
he like Tina. He like waved his hand and he threw that car at her while his wand was busy doing the electrical shit.
Yeah, I think Grindelwald, who was always been obsessed with power, and Dumbledore used to be obsessed with power. I mean, they just constantly were studying and thinking of new ways to do stuff.
Yeah.
So, anyway, you know what? In the this is sound pretentious, but in the book, that connecting your wand thing only happens with Harry and Voldemort. It never happens with anybody else. But
connecting your wand,
like whenever you're just shooting the lightning thing between it,
Yeah.
It happened in this movie. It happened in Dumbledore versus Voldemort.
Yeah, in 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's only supposed to happen whenever you have a core.
Twin wands.
Yeah, like Fox the Phoenix has a tail feather in Harry and Voldemort's wand. That's the only reason they connect like that.
Oh, okay.
But in the movies, they have to we gotta think of some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're doing this. I don't know. So they did it again, and it was all white.
Yeah. Well, it was like
again,
a blue. But
no, it was white.
There were white and blues is all I remember seeing as far as like the wand.
I don't remember any blues, honestly. I feel like I was looking for them. Like, even at the end when they're killing the obstructor thing or whatever it's
that
called,
was like a lot of white.
It was just white.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was the charm or whatever that they were using.
Yeah, which I don't know what they were. I don't think they were using stupefy. They weren't trying to stun it.
They're probably doing abracadabra.
No. It's green.
It's green.
Maybe they don't add the color right until the 80s.
I don't believe so. it's like one of the oldest
Curses.
spell. Yeah, curses. Okay.
With all that too, like they've almost revealed us and they're gonna expose us and all this stuff, and then like Newt got like that whole like, here, take this poison and fly it up in the air and make some rain clouds and everyone will forget, right? What about the news guy who told everyone to take a bunch of fucking photos?
That's what I was thinking.
That was that was my only time. I'm like, wait a fucking minute.
Maybe that will be like in the next movie. Like, there's conspiracy. We have all these photos, but no one remembers any of this shit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I thought. Is like they made a specific point to show John Voight is like, everybody look, you guys take pictures.
Yeah.
And they made sure to show him there while they had the orb thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna come back.
Now, did his other son have photos whenever he was trying to? Hey, we gotta talk to you about this, or was it just listen to this woman here?
Yeah.
Is that all it was?
He had photos of something, but we didn't really get a good look at what it was.
So I guess maybe photos don't always. They can be doctored.
Like I said, I feel like that was stuff that just never finished, But I guess if it's, I don't know. What happens whenever someone was inside not drinking water or taking a shower?
Drink water?
They're just looking and it's like, look at all that shit! And they never get the dish water, like, does no one believe me? That bird thing with 6 wings, that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I liked it. It was like a big, crazy bald eagle.
I wanted to see it in Avatar. I mean, that's the kind of thing that you would see in Avatar.
I suppose so. The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
There's a giant in this, too.
Yes.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Hagrid's half giant.
Oh.
Spoilers.
So, the giant woman did it with a small man and created Hagrid.
Well, couldn't it be the other way around?
Because...
Is it?
Played by Liam Neeson.
On Jacob, that porcupine rodent thing that bit his neck. You guys remember that?
Yeah. It was called a merlap.
Okay, the merlap. It bit his neck.
Yeah, merlap bite.
And like it caused like sweating and all that kind of stuff on him. At the very end, when Newt touched her face, didn't he have a scar that looked just like the same bite?
Like, I know he had one on his neck.
It was Newt's hand.
Oh, Newt had one?
I swear he had a scar on his hand that looked a lot like the bites that was on Jacob's neck. And I was like, I wonder if, he's around the animals all the time. Maybe he's been bit by one.
Well, whenever he captured it after it was attacking Jacob, maybe it bit him on, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I just saw that. I'm like, hey, that looks like the same scar as the other thing.
I thought it was interesting, too, when what's the sister's name?
The Legitimist or whatever.
The psychic lady.
The
Queen?
Yeah, Queenie?
Is that what it was? I feel like that one guy who said, was good gravy, no.
Yeah, it was Queenie.
I feel like, he was like, hey, Queenie, or something like that.
Yeah. So when she was in Jacob's shop, and they smiled at each other and stuff, and then he touched his neck where he got bit.
Yeah, does he remember?
It's like phantom
pain.
He
went like this,
and then he smiled. Like,
did he remember?
I mean,
he's got to remember something. He's making fucking donuts out of the animal shapes.
The whole crux of the Harry Potter story comes down to the fact that Voldemort couldn't kill a little fucking baby because of love. The mom died for the baby, creating this ancient spell that protected the baby from anything, pretty much, right?
Yeah. It was old magic.
Could the love have kind of broken through the memory charm?
Okay.
I mean, even though they only knew each other
charm.
for like a couple hours.
But she knew him very well, and he thought she was good.
So maybe there was something to be said about, like, maybe you can break through it. I don't know.
I mean, the old magic, love and stuff is supposed to be more powerful.
They call it ancient magic. It's more powerful than anything else. That's what Voldemort couldn't understand.
Giggle water?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Giggle water? I like that stuff.
Giggle water. They need to start selling that, and then, like, that guy's pastries at the Wizarding World in Florida. The battle between Grindelwald and Dumbledore would have taken place during Tom Riddle's 7th year at Hogwarts. Will we see a young Voldemort in these movies if they continue? That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Have they already had their thing?
They have not had their final battle. Like, Dumbledore refuses to help with the Grindelwald because he loved him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until things got really bad and they had to plead for him that he finally took the Elder Wand. I'd like to see Dumbledore again. I'd like to see... It'd be cool to see Tom Riddle, like a nice little tease. Not too much, but maybe Slughorn and like the old crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, at that point in his 7th year, he would have already been dabbling in dark magic.
Yeah. Like, he was trying to convince Slughorn to tell him what the Horcruxes were in his 7th year. 7th or 6th year, I can't remember which one. But even then, he was...
What the Horcruxes were?
Yeah, like he was...
Like, he was reading things or what?
He was reading in the restricted section. He came across this thing called the Horcruxes, and then his potion master, Slughorn, who was head of Slytherin House, he went and asked him, and Slughorn regrettably told him what they were.
Okay.
Leading him on to learn more about them. That's one thing Slughorn... Like, if you remember that movie, or if you read that book, there's something Slughorn was refusing to tell anybody, and it's the fact that he told Tom Riddle about Horcruxes, and that's when Dumbledore, it clicks in his mind, like, holy shit. Yeah. That's why he's alive, Even though he always suspected that's what it was, he needed confirmation, That's what sends Harry on his quest to find the last ones.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
What about the execution room? Wasn't that thing crazy?
That's what I'm saying, man. This movie's tone was... Oh!
Sorry.
Sneezeusis.
I get to make up these words.
It worked. He's not sneezing anymore. Oh, God. That's the thing with that room and the whole movie. The tone was all over the place, I felt like to me. Sometimes it's like a raunchy comedy, and other times it's like, wait, they're gonna straight up kill these people. Yeah. In this, like, fucking Jesus pool.
Yeah, and then they did the memory thing, and then, like, she's looking, she's all like, oh, wow, yeah, I'll kill myself.
Yeah.
Sit down here.
That was really weird.
Fucking terrible. It's like a super powerful magic acid.
Yeah.
Because it...
and the lady said, like, don't worry, you won't feel a thing. I'm like, what? It doesn't take you all at once. It's really... like...
Well, no, it was coming up around the chair, and then it, like, as soon as it completed it, like...
I don't know, she was standing on the chair, though, and it was slowly going up still. It wasn't like it was encompassing this chair and...
What the fuck is it with wizards and punishing bad wizards? Right? In England, and over there, UK, they send them to fucking Azkaban, where they hang out with Dementors.
And that in prison
suck your joy. They suck it dry. Like... You go insane. You're crazy. Like, there's no humane treatment. Like, fuck bad wizards. You know what I'm saying?
Over here, they just sentence them to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even fucking shoot them. They don't fucking do the Avada or anything.
No.
They're
dead.
All they fucking do is they do this elaborate James Bond villain.
Right.
Right?
Don't worry, dear. It won't hurt. Jeez, that was creepy.
Good thing there was that stick figure.
It felt like...
The tone is just so weird.
Yeah, it felt like a mental institution.
Yeah.
Like the white coats, the white tile floor. It was creepy.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of just different tones to this movie. I think that's why I don't love it. Like, when I went to use the bathroom after, like, when the credits were still going, someone was out there and someone was like, yeah, I really liked it, except for the fucking Scooby-Doo ending. It's actually me!
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Maybe that's what he said.
I was expecting him to just, like, be in with Grindelwald, but not be Grindelwald, I guess. Like, something about him didn't seem like, well, he's got to be a good guy.
Yeah, no.
but I didn't think he was gonna be. Ooh, I'm someone else.
Yeah.
So, and did Newt he said something? Is that what it was? Like he was like, "Hey, wait a minute, turn into yourselfish."
It's usually
it was Reverio, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a
So he was like Reverio. And then
what's the one they usually? They usually use something incantatum, like finite incantatum is usually the one they usually use to like get rid of like.
Did Queenie
mirrors and shit
and Graves ever meet? They never did they?
Who?
Queenie, the sister.
the sister.
Yeah. No.
Okay. You figured she'd be like,
No.
Huh?
If she was Grindelwald, she should.
You know what I
he
mean?
would probably be a pretty good oculomentus or whatever. They're called.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figure.
Oculomancer.
But is that something you do constantly? Is that how it works?
That's what Snape had
Or
to
do you have to turn it on and off?
That's what Snape did.
Well, you have to work at it constantly.
Yeah.
But he just got to the point where he just always did it.
Okay.
He did it to the point where Dumbledore couldn't fucking read him. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Dumbledore had to pretty much just guilt him for him to do the shit he wanted him to do.
Yeah. I just didn't know
Jeez, that was
I know Calvin can read my mind. I'm gonna block when I'm around Calvin. When I'm not around Calvin, I won't worry about it.
Like Harry had to constantly do it because he has that connection with Voldemort. You know, spoilers. It ends up being that Harry's actually a Horcrux. You know, but they had that connection, so Snape has to teach him to constantly use it. I mean, he fails miserably, but that's what that is.
Gets his godfather fucking
It makes you just want to
dead.
reread Harry Potter. Honestly,
Yeah.
I like the movie. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it though.
Yeah.
But there was like the confusing tone for me was kind of like and then like the stuff that's added to the existing canon, like the special skill of occlumency, and then also what happened with Dumbledore and Grindelwald and I think it's Ariana is her name, the Dumbledore's sister.
The sister, yeah.
Like there's no way that's not connected somehow. Grindelwald's there. He's interested in the thing. That's exactly what happened to her. But we've never heard anything about that. But to be fair, Dumbledore just... The only thing they ever said was no one knew who actually killed her. There was this big fight and she got hit with a spell. No one ever figured out. Dumbledore didn't know if he killed her, Dumbledore's brother, or Grindelwald. They never figured out who killed her. But it could be this fucking thing. I don't know.
Like, it was a big fight and she just ran in the middle going, no! Like Ash Ketchum from Pokemon.
See, what happened was that Dumbledore and Grindelwald, they had this big plan to go out into the world and like have this big like adventure and find power and rule. Was kind of what they were
well, it
thinking
sounded
of.
like his whole thing is that he wanted to start a war basically so that they could be out in the open and not...
I mean, Dumbledore and Grindelwald, like Dumbledore when he was a child or a teenager, like he had written down like, I think the only way to for everybody to be happy is for us to take our natural places as rulers of this world, you know? Like, why do we have to hide? Why shouldn't they have to hide?
Yeah. Whenever that one guy was kind of talking about that, when I was like, he's got to be really
eventually
bad.
it came to a point where he was like, I can't do this. Why? Because, see, I think that she, Ariana, the Dumbledore's sister, I think she accidentally killed her mother. Her mother was taking care of her, and then she accidentally died, and Dumbledore had to not go on his trip and take care of his daughter or his sister.
So maybe it was
Maybe it was that thing,
an
and
obscurio.
that thing killed the mom. And Dumbledore, being this powerful wizard, is the only one that could actually keep her alive. Maybe that's why she lived to be 14. And then they had this fucking battle, and whatever he uses to keep her in the house blew up, and she was able to come out, and they were all fighting off. They had no idea what the fuck it was. I don't know. See, because we were told that story by Albus's brother. What's his name?
By Dumbledore's brother?
Yeah. He's the bartender at the Leaky Cauldron.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, his brother. Anyway, he was one that was telling us the story, but maybe he didn't understand what obscura was, and he just told the story.
As he understood it.
Because Dumbledore was dead before we even found out the story, you know?
Mm.
And then Harry talks to his portrait at the end, but it's just a portrait. It's not really the man himself, you know? So, I don't know. That's the only thing that's keeping me from, like, really enjoying the movie is not understanding what it's changed.
Yeah.
But this is coming right from J.K. Rowling.
If they're doing more stuff too, it could. I mean, we could easily
hopefully
be like, oh,
we'll hear more about
maybe
it.
we'll see it.
We'll be
I
like,
don't know.
oh, okay, so this is why.
Yeah.
Is J.K. gonna be doing any more books or anything, or?
I don't believe so. She's done The Cursed Child, which is a 2-part play.
Yeah, that was a play.
Which also a book came out, which there were some parts in that I absolutely fucking love. Now, to be fair, she like helped with the story. Some other guy actually wrote it.
Okay.
Because there's also parts in it that I didn't love. And I imagine that's from that guy. But no, but I believe she did the screenplay. I think I saw a producer credit on this for her. So I mean, do what you want. I mean,
Yeah.
it's fucking her fucking story. She can do anything she wants. She could come out and just change everything, and I'd be like, please, JK, may I have some more?
Really?
Yeah, I would. Because I love the story so much, but I would be confused on my first watch. We gotta say, so we just fucking watched this movie and came right here.
Yeah. So we've seen it one time.
There have been times where I've watched something, didn't like it, watch it again, love the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, sometimes you get a different feel of like, oh, I know this, and that makes sense because I didn't even see that last time, you know? Or it helps seeing sometimes multiple times on the same show.
Like, this is hard for me to admit, but I didn't love the ending of Lost as much as I do now the first time I watched it. But then when I actually paid attention to what they were telling me, like Aaron, you should probably do, love the fuck out of it.
I don't pay attention.
But so it's similar to that. Like, I might just go and watch this again. Well, I don't have.
So you respect a storyteller's right to change their story.
100%. That's why I'm never upset with like Lucas changes everything. It's like
Han shot first.
He gave us everything. Han could shoot everybody in that fucking cantina. I wouldn't care, or not shoot anybody. You know.
Runs. And
by the way, Han still shoots first in that trilogy because the Lando's taking him to dinner. The doors open up. Darth Vader's there. He doesn't fucking go like, you gonna shoot first? He's like, no, bitch. Doesn't do anything, but he still shoots first. See what I'm saying? So it's still there. But no, I respect the original creator's work. He can do whatever the fuck they want. JK can do whatever the fuck they want. It's theirs. What are you gonna do? You can do shit. Fuck you.
What was that?
Just in case they were trying to come after me. But no, that's my opinion. So even if I don't
all
really
the
like
comments are writing like,
you're
like, oh, no about it, no.
So what I'm saying is like I'm absorbing all this new information for the first time, and I might be like, I don't know how I feel about this, but as you know, I will just accept that's how it is, and then I'll just learn to love it. That's how I am.
Yeah, I mean, like take Empire Strikes Back. If you just watch Empire Strikes Back, by the end of that, you're like, what? Yeah. What's going on with this and this? And is this right? Is this true? You know, like any of that stuff. Yeah. And so if there is more coming, I'm willing to like, okay, so maybe some weird stuff, but let's see what happens with the rest of them. And then by the end of it all, if it still don't make sense, then I'm like, well, something's wrong. Yeah. Now things now I don't like it. Now I don't like it.
I just wonder if it's going to fall into the same quote-unquote problem of the Star Wars prequels. Because George Lucas was writing for a new generation of fans. Mm-hmm. Like, if you watch that movie and pretend you don't know what's going to happen, it's pretty fucking engaging, you know? But a lot of people thought that he should be writing those movies for the original trilogy fans. And they were like, well, none of that really struck a chord for me because I already knew that stuff. It's like, yeah, but ask kids that watch it for the first time. They love the fuck out of it, you know? Will this kind of fall in the same thing? Because, man, this movie's going to do well, but it's going to do well because of all the kids that grew up with Harry Potter, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like just watching it from like a perspective of not really watching Harry Potter, the animal aspect of it, like some stuff might be kind of like weird. Yeah. But the animal aspect might pull in enough because there's some cool things with that.
Like I'm trying to think, like, you know, in episode 4 we pick up and Obi-Wan explains the Force, he explains the world pretty quickly, you know. In this movie, did we get like if you went into it completely fresh, would you understand the world?
Like what magic is and everything.
Like you have to just assume that. Whenever he's like, you know, I was at Hogwarts, and everybody's like, oh, he said it, you know? But, like, if you don't know what that is, you don't give a shit. But would you understand the world that much? Or do you even need to in a movie this strange?
I don't know. In the opening sequence, just after the credits, while they were going through the newspaper and stuff like that, I mean, it said Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, you know, is on lockdown or whatever it was.
Sorry, I kept trying to catch extra things in there.
Yeah, like, I always do that. I always never read the fucking thing I'm supposed to.
I was trying to read everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would like see, that's about like whatever, and then I would read all the little tiny things
because like in most like movies or TV shows they usually just have like word salad.
Yeah,
you know, everybody's reading, but sometimes it's like a writer being like, I can't believe you're reading this. You weren't supposed to. Don't read these things. They never say anything.
Yeah.
Don't read these. Talking to people. So,
I think as far as like a fresh person not really knowing Harry Potter, I think you come into it and still get a good idea.
Okay.
I mean, for the most part, as long as you're like willing to be like, okay, well, there's magic in this world. You know, I think for the most part, you'd be like, oh, there's cool, crazy animals.
Yeah.
There's wands that they can do spells and stuff, and there's some kind of weird creature that is kids.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest part of it, I guess. You know.
Well, I think it's a creature and a kid.
Yeah.
This is sad as fuck.
If this was just a huge conspiracy for the wizarding world to see how well Muggles would respond to having actual wizards, it's like, okay, let's make a bunch of movies that they'll like and give them these cool toys that they can play with. And then, like, 10 years down the line, we'll say, oh, we're actually real, and they won't kill us. That'll be great, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
Until this guy shows up, and you're like, what the fuck?
You ever see those gifs where it's like, he's like, what will you do now, Harry Potter? And Harry just, like, what the fuck can you do to that?
I've never seen that.
And he goes down and just fucking puts a nose on him, like, got your nose. Anyway.
Jeez.
Thank you guys for checking out this video. If you would like to see more videos like that, hit the subscribe button. Over there is a icon button for Patreon.
Patronus!
Expecto Patronum is the spell.
Whatever! It's Patreon. I was like, Patronus!
Patronus. Oh, I got it.
That's what I was doing.
I get it now.